55 acres of land we have been given outside of Karen in Gong, and looking at wonderful facilities, including a mini golf course where we can play a little golf when we finish our training. So we are working on this dream, all of us, to see how we build a court of appeal, a center of mediation and arbitration for Africa. Because we don't see why Africa is generating more disputes which are taken to the international arena for resolution, and they are not being resolved here in Africa, especially here in Kenya, where the woman is the Chief Justice. We are looking to build a Supreme Court because we are living in a museum which was built in 1929, and Justice Effie Owuor knows the abolition block was condemned. So we have to walk to the hotel for those services, and you know how difficult it is for a woman. So we need to do so much for the Kenyan judiciary and for Africa to stand out that we can solve our own problems. We have problems, yes, but the solutions for those problems are in our hands. Those challenges which we create ourselves, we know the solutions. And those who distract us, we just have to pray for them and forgive them and move on. In fact, it has been so bad for me the last 2 weeks. I was telling my senior sisters here, when I became a Chief Justice, I weighed 75 kilos. Now I'm only 68. And I'm not on a weight loss program. It's just the weight of the burden. But I'm happy that I don't have to go to lose weight. It has gone. So the time I would have spent going to the gym to lose weight, I spent working to see how this dream can come true. So thank you very much, all of you, for listening.
Thank you, Chief Justice, for sharing that Kenya has what it takes. Africa has what it takes. We've seen our pioneer women and Kenya, we've seen it across other countries. And so we don't necessarily always have to look somewhere else to learn. We can learn from our indigenous systems. We can learn from our inner strength. But most importantly, we can learn from visionary leaders like yourself, who are dreaming and seeing and also building up on what others before you have done. So we are looking forward to supporting you, and I'm hoping and believing that your vision and your term as Chief Justice will be a great one. We all pledge this day to support the Chief Justice of Kenya, Martha Koome, to make sure that her legacy is one that lives many years, building on the legacy of many others before her. So we support you. And lastly, I would like to ask a question. How can non-profit organizations like the Institute for African Women in Law work with you, work with the judiciary of Kenya and other judiciaries around the world to promote the work that you all are doing? Are there ways for which we can be of support in addition to all the others who support us?
A lot of support, my sister, that you can give. Like it was acknowledged, we have made great strides to get women in the legal profession. From just 1 or 2 to now 50-50. Since I became Chief Justice, I've admitted 2,500 young lawyers in the bar. Are we having some here? Is there anyone I've admitted to the bar? Wow. Wonderful. When I joined the bar myself in 1987, I was number 1,700 something, which means in a span of 1 year, 8 months, I have admitted more lawyers than there were for so many decades when I joined. So this is a profession that is growing tremendously, and we have seen it is nurturing young women and young men because we want them to work together. Let us support the mentorship of these young people. What I tell them when I'm admitting them is that this is a great profession. They should never be discouraged. We are a population of 50 million in Kenya, but when you talk about the East Africa community, we are even more, and when you talk about Africa, we have even more, and we are looking for opportunities everywhere. I do not want to imagine anyone I admitted or was admitted even by my predecessor, a lawyer who has gone to school, gone to university, gone to the Kenya School of Law, and become an advocate, can actually be destitute. We must hold each other's hand, especially the hand of these young lawyers. So we've been talking with the Law Society to start a mentorship program, and we are supported also by a wonderful woman, Judge Ann Claire Williams of the US, who has trained us a lot on trial advocacy, and we are putting together a program that can sharpen the skills of the newly admitted lawyers in research, in advocacy, in representation of clients, in managing a law firm, so that they can we can hold their hands according to this poster. So that is what I would be asking for. The support of also the young people who are joining the profession, either the academy or the judiciary, the young women, working with the high AWJ. And I see our president here, the Lady Justice Agnes Mulugo, and our Africa Regional Director, Lady Justice Okwengu, wonderful, great women judges who have really upheld women in the judiciary, and other judges who are present here. So there are many, many ways you can support us so that we can shine in the profession, and the women who have reached the top, the pinnacle of their careers, they can also stay there without being demolished. When I became the Chief Justice, I decided I'm not going to be distracted. I'm going to remain focused on what we have identified as the key things to be done. So I blocked myself completely from the social media. So this is something we also need to train us how to deal with it. Because if I were to listen to the social media, I think last week I was dead. Yes, it started, she's very sick, she's receiving dialysis at Kenyatta National Hospital. Then that time I was launching a beautiful building by the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and we were celebrating a milestone and dancing. And from there I'd gone to a wonderful team building meeting of the Supreme Court, a working session. And then this is the news that is all over, that she's dying at Kenyatta. Then I think she has left Kenyatta and she's involved in a deadly accident, and then she's dead. So really, is that something for us to look at? It's just, I'm like, are they pretending I'm dead so that they kill me, and then they say after all she was dead? So we have a lot of challenges as women. So we need women to own each other, to celebrate each other, to understand the circumstances under which we work, the difficult situation we navigate when we have to come up with a decision, and just be kind to us. So if there is an organization that extends love and kindness, I would ask that they also surround us with love, kindness, and prayers and encouragement, something to keep us up there elevated. But we would appreciate, and we continue to appreciate and celebrate each other, and also to thank our partners who have understood the difficult circumstances under which we work, and they have come in a big way to render their support, especially our development partners.
Thank you very much, Chief Justice. I think you've said it all. We will continue to learn from you. We will continue to support you. And I think now maybe our institute will change our tagline to love, support, and elevation.
Yes.
So let's love each other, let's support each other, and let's elevate each other. Because when we do this and more, we all grow. When our Chief Justice shines, we all shine. Kenya shines and Africa shines. So let's go shine. Honorable Chief Justice, thank you for shining today. Thank you.
Thank you. What a wonderful, wonderful conversation. Hasn't it been nourishing, literally riveting and inspiring? I think that, we aspired by the recognition that, for the period that the Chief Justice has been in office, a lot has happened. If it had happened previously, I think it would be earth-shattering news. But as we said, we are remedying those historical injustices. This space is also a wonderful space for intergenerational co-leadership, as we can see, as we can all witness. And the gains of that intergenerational co-leadership is what the Chief Justice has called on us to extend mentorship. Thank you very, very much. Allow me to invite you back to your seats so that we can proceed with the next part of the program. Thank you very, very much. Please let us appreciate the Chief Justice and Professor Downey for that amazing, amazing conversation. We will move to the next segment, which is the launch of the reports. And my co-host had introduced the report at the beginning of the program, but just to recap, we are launching the Women in Law and Leadership Report, which is part of the Institute of African Women in Law, for African Women in Law, and it's part of the African Women in Law and Leadership Initiative, looking at women in the legal academy, women in the bar, and women on the bench, and examining the points of attrition in the pipeline, barriers to retention, facilitators of promotion, and progress and trends regarding women's representation in the legal profession through an intersectional feminist lens. And so it is reports looking at patterns, progress, and prospects. Allow me to welcome Honorable Chief Justice to the stage. Sorry. My Lady Chief Justice back to the stage, accompanied by DCJ Emeritus, Justice Awar, Justice Alwach, Justice Murgar, and Professor Downey. The exceptional representation absolutely. Yes. My Lady Justice Okwengu, please join the stage. So we have the academy, the bar, the bench represented. Maybe Faith. Yes. Madam Harriet. And Professor Mbote. Yes, absolutely. We welcome you. And we recognize you for your contribution to the Legal Academy. It's looking really, really great. Professor Winnie Kamau also from the School of Law joining us. And these are the women who are driving forces of change in the bar, in the bench, and in the legal academy. All forces of intersection for greatness. I will now invite Professor Downey and My Lady Chief Justice together to unveil the report. A round of applause. I think this requires a standing moment. Let us all honor this moment and recognize indeed the great strides that we have made. It's the women in law and leadership, the Kenyan bar, bench, and the academy. And the reports will be available on the IAWL's website immediately after this launch. What a beautiful and wonderful moment. Thank you very, very much. I will now hand over to my co-host to lead us in the next segment.
So we will now move into the photography session of our program, and we'll just start with whoever is already on the stage. We'll have that as the first group photo, and then we'll give you direction. Please be seated. Please be seated. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
Fast and affordable rides at the tap of a button. Bolt, the smartest way to move.
Okay, so I will ask the Chief Justice to remain on the podium together with Professor Downey. And I will ask all the members of the diplomatic corps who are present to kindly come on the stage for a photo. All the members of the diplomatic corps who are present, kindly come on stage for a photograph. Thank you so much. I will ask all the judges present in the room to kindly come on stage. Judges present. All judges present. Let me kindly also ask magistrates to join this photograph.